Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here with this huge panel we have, and we're gonna talk about after the final whistle. Tonight we will be hearing from four soccer stars who will share with us what life is like after retirement. But before we do that, I'd like to invite all of you to remember the life of another soccer star, Brazilian, Capitan Carlos Alberto. We lost him 2 years ago, and here's a tribute on his honor. Let's watch. This part is in English, don't worry. After the final whistle comes the day after. A day when we are just like the rest. A day when we start to get old. A day when our bodies forget the high performance. We are never ready to hear that whistle and face a future away from the wholeness of being a soccer player. Because sooner than later, we realize that there is no other activity that makes us feel complete. It's time for a new endeavor, a new schedule, a new way of living that includes being a stranger in your own house during the weekends, and of course, it's time for a new salary. Hanging up the gloves or the cleats is not only a farewell, it's a welcoming to a road of depression or at least undefinable sadness. And don't lie to me, guys. Nobody celebrates being an old man at time when you are not yet 40 or 42.
43.
43, your last time 42. But that is what we are, only in matters of soccer. Human beings go from laughter to tears in minutes. Soccer players from everything to nothing in days. Going from riches to rags takes so little time, about the same time it takes to spend it all. What will end look like? Most players are not ready to move to a different social and economic reality. We also have to face a syndrome called, and now what? Many find the answer right away, but many will spend the rest of their lives looking for that answer. I want to introduce our, our panel this afternoon. Landon Donovan, on my left, he's regarded as one of the greatest, I would say the best, US men's soccer players of all time. Having played in the MLS, Liga MX, Bundesliga, and Premier League, Donovan holds so many individual records in Major League Soccer, having won 6 MLS Cups and being the all-time scorer with 145 goals. With the US national team, he's the only player to reach the 50 goals, 50 assists mark, and he scored 5 goals in 3 World Cups. He performed one of the most exciting moments in all American sports when he scored the winning goal in the very last minute against Algeria in South Africa 2010. And as a Mexican, I have to recognize Landon as our worst nightmare. Juan Sebastián Verón. He played in the elite of European football for 10 seasons. Started in Estudiantes de La Plata, then Boca Juniors before starting his international career, where he played for Sampdoria, Parma, Lazio, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Inter de Milan. Back in Estudiantes de La Plata, he won Copa Libertadores and Club World Cup final against Barcelona. He reached it. He represented Argentina in 3 World Cups. After his retirement, he became the president of Estudiantes. As a Mexican, I need to remind you that Carlos Tevez' goal in the round of 16 was clearly offside and you were there in South Africa 2010. Luis Hernandez, he's famous by his nickname El Matador. He played as a striker. He's the fourth highest goal scorer of all time for the Mexican national team with 35 goals, and with Chicharito, our top scorer in World Cups, 4 goals in '98. He played for teams in Mexico, Argentina, and United States. El Matador also scored 6 goals during 1997, Copa America being the tournament's leading goal scorer. As your rival, querido Matador, I have to tell you that I will never forgive you for that bicycle kick goal you scored to me 20 years ago. And finally, we have Luis Saha on the other side. Premier League, Champions League, and League Cup winner with Manchester United. Saha also played for Newcastle, Fulham, Everton, and Tottenham, as well as representing France at Euro 2004 and 2006 FIFA World Cup in Germany. Since retiring from the game, Saha has created Axis 10?
Axis Stars. Axis Stars.
Axis?
Stars.
Axis Stars. Sports consulting group with former defense Dieter Prestin that claims to provide professional footballers with financial protection during and after their careers. As a Mexican, I want to thank you for not scoring a goal against my country, Luis Saha. Well, I would like to start this. I mean, feel free to jump in whenever you want. I want to do it kind of relaxed. And I would like to start with Luis Saha on the other side, because seems like you are the right guy to talk about this huge change between being current or a former player. Seems like you were ready to face the final whistle. Tell us about how was that process.
I have to admit that the process was thought way before I hang up my boots, because I actually went to a process where I write my own book, trying to say exactly my journey and try to be as much informative that I could be. So, you know, in a personal level, but at the same time, trying to find some stories from other players. So I starting to interview Zidane, Gallas, all the players, staff members, start to understand the whole overall industry and try to understand what happened to me on different angles. So it helped me in a way to actually, on the same time that I realized that I miss some opportunities with a World Cup and the Champions League, maybe through injuries as well. So I was like aware that my career won't last forever. So I had the opportunity to actually reflect on that and thinking about that moment, that horrible moment that you're actually not facing a proper defender, trying to face a goalkeeper for the last time. I knew that this moment will come. And so even if it was really, really hard, I had the luxury to think about it, which is like not the case of many, many players. Still, it was really, really hard, and I said you barely try to talk about it. You try to think like maybe there is another opportunity is going to come on the line. Think about it, hesitate about coming back into fitness. But yes, I knew my time was coming because my mojo went gone. You know, I didn't feel like I was able to carry on and go into other countries, maybe in Dubai, Middle East, or whatever. Like trying to maintain that dream alive. That was I think that was my day when I felt like the mojo was not there. I was not gonna lie to the industry. So I felt like I was more into going to certain business or venture in a way. So try to educate myself to make sure that I'm able to have a contribution. Some people may think about coaching, others may think about pundit work. I was thinking about more how I can have an impact, how I can maybe transfer what I learned from my story to the youth. So making sure that I have an impact in a positive way.
Thinking Inside the Box is the name of your book, and you started to write it when, as I remember, when when you couldn't play the final of Champions League, right?
Yeah, kind
In
of.
Moscow.
Mm.
And in your book, you um, you write about many facts about retirement. You want to share some of them with us?
The retirement story, it's like, what do you mean about the?
Saying goodbye, farewell,
Mm.
going away from the
Yeah,
pitch.
I was like, I was aware that, as I said, the career won't last forever. So I was aware that I was lucky enough. So that's why some players have to recognize the industry is like a luxury. I think that I was a privileged player, to be at such level and all that. And even with my injuries and situation that you feel like it was horrible. I don't want to use those words, but. I think I felt like still lucky. So where I could share that during my actual process of writing, it was more about giving a guide how to actually maintain such a level of performances, such a level of a commitment. Because it's all about consistency. You have like bunch of players here.
Hmm.
They all had to maintain. The actual desire had to maintain some kind of ferocity, whatever the target was in their life, and that was basically what I wanted to achieve in my book. And I find that maybe book and writing was a bit a dying thing. That's why I went to digital, and I think that's the way forward because everybody got a phone in the hand. I can see some phones there in the hand when I'm talking. So the nice thing about my retirement process was about giving back the information from the players that I had the chance, luxury to meet and to play against. I went there and tried to get as much information.
Mhm. Ok, thank you, Luis. Matador, tú eres un caso. Has sido un caso de tu carrera. Por cierto, ¿ya estás retirado ahora sí oficialmente?
Ya, oficial.
Ya.
Ya.
Ok.
Ya
¿El 2005 fue la buena?
Sí, fue la buena. Fue la
Pero
buena.
después vinieron varias despedidas, ¿no?
Ok.
Pero cuéntanos cómo fue esa transición después de que tú sales del América, vas a Veracruz, pasas a Jaguares, al final llegas a Lobos WAP y ahí decides retirarte. ¿Cuáles fueron las señales que tú fuiste descubriendo en el camino en esos años cuando tú sales del América que te anunciaban que el retiro estaba cerca?
Bueno, la señal primera fue cuando pasó un chavo al lado mío a velocidad más que yo. Entonces esa fue la primera señal. Eh, tenía bien claro que vas, ya no, con todo respeto, ya no estando en equipos grandes,
Ujú.
vas en equipos importantes, pero no de un gran nivel. Y así fue, o sea, fue cuando me di cuenta y preferí retirarme bien físicamente, en una buena edad, y que me siguieran recordando como hasta ahora me recuerdan. Entonces
Ujú.
no quería que el fútbol me retirara a mí, entonces preferí yo retirarme y hacer eso. La señal, te digo, fue un chico pasando
Sí.
corriendo al lado mío y darte cuenta de que ya no tienes esas mismas condiciones.
¿Te arrepentiste en algún momento de tu decisión de retirarte en ese momento?
No, al contrario, no me arrepentí. O sea, eh, fue algo que lo tenía muy bien pensado, fue algo que lo decidí muy bien y creo que en ese tiempo no podía haber jugado unos 2 o 3 años más, pero no, la verdad no, el arrepentimiento nunca ha pasado por
¿Y
mí.
la tristeza o la depresión?
No, tampoco. ¿Por qué? Porque me rodeó de gente, mi familia, de gente que me quería, de gente que me sigue aportando cosas buenas a mi vida. Me refugié en otro trabajo. Mira, yo dije, me voy a retirar y me retiré del fútbol, pero el fútbol no me ha dejado a mí. Entonces me llaman
Ujú.
a muchos eventos y lo disfruto. Entonces es una parte en las cuales yo tengo esa oportunidad de poder seguir viviendo del fútbol.
Ok. Sebastián, yo no sé si hay otro caso como el tuyo en el fútbol, en el que regresaste te retiraste la primera vez en 2012, después regresaste otra vez en 2014, otra vez en 2016. Bueno, sí hay otro caso, pero, pero me refiero principalmente a que cuando tú regresas la última vez, eres presidente de tu equipo. O sea, ¿realmente tú sentiste el retiro? Porque podríamos pensar nosotros que tu transición pues fue bastante cómoda y sencilla.
¿Sencilla?
Podríamos pensar, si eres el presidente del equipo.
Sí, podría ser. No, no lo fue tanto. Yo creo que fue más un desafío. Y tampoco, digo, fue algo, pienso, para los que estaban como compañeros cómodos. Pero que, bueno, ya tenía una relación, me conocían algunos como jugador que me habían visto y otros, obviamente, los tuve como compañeros. Y la verdad que fue, por decir, una excusa posiblemente para sacar lo último que tenía como jugador profesional.
Ujú. Porque además, bueno, la última vez que tú regresas del retiro, tenía otra causa, ¿no? O sea, estabas también con un puesto en la AFA, pero tenía otra causa más allá. Y al final de cuentas te funciona, pero tú dejas lo último ya por una lesión, ¿no? Pero te va muy bien en la última vez que regresas en un torneo sudamericano.
Sí, en la Copa Libertadores. Sí, la verdad que sí. Ya en los últimos partidos me empecé a sentir mejor, pero como que ya el jugador de fútbol se había ido. Y la realidad que estuvo bien hasta ahí. Más posiblemente hubiera sido algo forzado y que no le hubiera servido a nadie, ni al club en este caso, ni al equipo, y obviamente ni a mí, que siempre me pongo del último. Y en definitiva, como te decía anteriormente, o sea, me vacié como futbolista.
Okay. Landon, you are also a really special case.
Thank you.
And well, not only because you are the best American player, but what really surprises me is when you first said goodbye in 2014. That was right after winning the MLS Cup, right?
Yeah.
Against Revolution.
Right.
That was probably the best last game you ever thought. Then you came back 2 years later, and then the last one in Leon, 1 year and a half later. Why you came back from retirement if you had the best last game?
So, can you guys hear me? No? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's out of
Nobody?
your
Sorry, malfunction.
está fuera de tu.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
All right, maybe I'll
much
just hold
better.
it.
Yeah.
I think I'll just hold it. So, at the time in 2016 when I came back, a lot of my friends called me when I made the decision and said, God, you couldn't stay away, could you? You just loved the game so much and you couldn't stay away. And actually the reason was, and I haven't really spoken about this publicly before, but I was in my backyard one day and Bruce, this is going to kill me. Thank you.
Let me help you. Well, like this, better?
Better? No? No? Yes? No? Sorry, guys, it's annoying.
Yeah, much better.
So Bruce Arena called me and said, would you consider coming back to help us? We've had a bunch of injuries. And my first response was, no, I'm done. I've been done. I'm happy. I'm a dad now. And I had my little boy Talon in the backyard with me one afternoon, and I had to make a decision by that evening. And I was sitting there with him, And I had this sort of aha moment, this epiphany, where I realized he was now old enough where he could kind of understand that Dad was out on a field playing. And also, I had no pictures or video of myself with him on a soccer field after I'd played. And I was thinking about that, and I remember sitting in my backyard, and I started crying. And I got through that, and I picked up the phone, and I called Bruce, and I said, I want to come back. And so that was the impetus behind the first time. From a soccer perspective, I was done, I was happy, but I wanted to have those moments documented so that I had that with my son, my first son at the time. It's broken again. Oh,
A little bit.
no, it's okay.
Let's twist
You're
it.
a man of many talents.
No. Oh, great.
Sorry, guys.
No.
You want to fix it
Yeah, fix it.
while you're here? I'm not touching anything. Is that better? Cheers.
No.
We don't do handhelds anymore, huh? I'll just hold it. It's fine. So the second time, I was sitting home, very happy again, and I got a call from my agent asking if I would ever consider going to play in Mexico, and I said, like Sunday Mexican League, like what are you talking about? And he said, no, go play in Mexico. A team from Mexico called and asked if you would do it, and I said, I appreciate that, but I'm not interested, and I hung up. A few days later, he called back and said they're really interested. They really want you to come. And so I have always told myself to stay open-minded about things. I told my wife when I retired the first time, the only reason I would ever come back is if it was an incredible experience, an incredible opportunity, or there was so much money involved that you couldn't say no. And the Mexico opportunity ticked all three boxes. It was an opportunity for us to do something different. It was significant financially for myself and my family, and as those of you who have kids know, your mentality about that stuff changes when you have children. And then it was an experience that I figured I could never get again. The opportunity to take my family down to Mexico and live there was too good to pass up. So that was the impetus behind all of it. I was a little different maybe from some people. I was actually excited for retirement and excited to stop playing and do something different in my life. But I do still find myself, even to this day, wondering what exactly is next. And I think that's probably the biggest question that we all have to answer, because nothing compares to walking out in front of 60,000 people. That energy and that excitement, nothing will ever compare. So how do you find something that's relatively comparable?
Mm-hmm. But it's worth it when you came back? Do you think it's worth it?
Was it worth it?
Yeah, was it worth it?
Financially?
No.
Yes, it
Emotionally.
was. No, it was. It wasn't always. With the Galaxy, yes, because I got the opportunities I wanted. With Leon, more than the on the field, I came back from Mexico. We met two incredible girls there who are now our nannies. They've come to America to live with us that we've fallen in love with. My oldest son speaks better Spanish than I do now.
Okay.
My wife and my two children had an experience that they would have never otherwise had, so it was absolutely worth it.
But what about your performance in Leon? What's the
Do we have to talk
sensations?
about that?
Yeah. We know about the numbers, but we want to hear about your experience.
Yeah, so it was fun to go to a league that I had watched my entire life. Obviously, Luis knows the league well and lived there and played it. But for me to come from Major League Soccer, then to see just how talented the players were and how passionate the fans were. And I watched Mexican League soccer before I watched any other soccer in my life, so I had the ability to finally live out that dream of mine, which was really fun.
Okay, that was the last time you came back? Definitely?
Yes.
Yeah?
Never say
Even
never,
though,
but
well,
yes.
maybe there's another opportunity in Galaxy, huh?
You never know.
Okay. Luis, can you tell us more about if you went through depression or sadness when when you left the pitch? Because I mean, I have the theory that each one of us feels depression or sadness, and some of the soccer players never never go through that. I mean,
No, it's true. I think I know a number of
never leave it
players
behind.
who who did suffer, you know, and still do. Me, I was a bit more like in London. I would say I was like looking forward because I felt like my mojo was was not on anymore. My mojo was like my motivation, you know, the authenticity when you go at the field and you feel the pressure and you manage to be courageous about it because you want to win. So all that was like I was facing like no opponent for me. So I was like, and I couldn't really understand. So at that time, I was like really focused on that feeling, and the retirement thing was like a relief. I have to admit because I worked so hard, training was, you know, it was like just like I had that desire to work so hard. But when that mojo gone, you know, you feel like everything is forced a bit, you know. And I don't want to lie to anybody, and I don't think that the worst thing about being a sportsman and have been so privileged to play on the higher rank, I would say, with like chance to play on World Cups and playing with big clubs, is to lie to yourself. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. No money, no things will have changed that. So yes, I entered that period of 6 months, maybe 1 year, where you look at proposition on the table and you think about it and you look at your family and say, oh, you go to India, you go to America, you go to Middle East, and it wasn't there. But actually, the whole process of like going fit and going to that to that hard shift of working really hard, it was gone for me. So I didn't feel depressed that much because, as I said, I was like onto business, and as I'm a competitor, I
Yeah.
really wanted to do things, and in another level, I committed myself 100%. I'm like every day on it, and I really like committed to that passionate thing that I have in my belly, and that's it. So I don't think that I entered to any process of depression or thing like this. I
Okay.
just felt like my mojo just switched to another thing. As I'm a competitor, I would have like maybe played in another sport, and I would have been the same, because I want to win and I want to compete against the best. That was me. So when that thing was not there, it was gone. So I never felt depressed. I felt maybe sometimes jealous, I will say. Envy to be like in competition when you see Champions League, when you see the boys in Man United. I've always been a fan. You want to be out there and like maybe playing on those stages. But I knew how hard it is. I knew how much training they go through. So I couldn't lie to myself and I say, no, this is not me. As Luis said, you know, some other boys put me on the side, and it was not for me.
Yeah, you were very successful as a player, and you have been very successful in your company. But do you think this new activity can replace what you used to feel inside a team, a trip,
No
or
way,
a
no.
pre-season, or
I
a
can
game?
stop you there. No way, no way, because I was passionate, and I think that, as I said, it's a very privileged area. You know, when you do this sport at this level, like competing in big stadium, as you mentioned before, you know, 80,000 people like shouting, and like a family itself, like together, like going to a stadium, like to watch that show, and you participating on that, it's just a dream, you know, and you can't compare. But you have to think about like so many things are different. You can't say you replace, because you can't have that. It's going to be another thing, but you have like this opportunity to take this experience and to do something else. And with, I would say that platform, I'm lucky to have an impact, and I feel as passionate because I may do some good to maybe not only my family and my entourage, but maybe, who knows, like hundreds, maybe thousands. And this is my new thing. I really want to have an impact, and everyone may take times. And I said it could be me doing my venture, and may you could find the same kind of excitement in being involved in your sport by being a pundit or a coach. I think the closest feeling, it could be a coach or maybe a chairman. I think
Okay.
you know, like you have that kind of power. You can have like some kind of I would say it's some kind of yeah. It's more about the actual DNA that you put into your work and into your people that you're working with, and this is very important for me. I really like the aspect of like building some kind of brand and legacy. So this is the next thing. So very passionate, but nothing's going to replace what
Yeah,
I
exactly.
experience on the field because it's just immense. You know, I play with Zidane, I play with under some great managers, and those moments are just unique. And as London mentioned, you know, it's like I understand his actual desire for his family to the children to experience that and say, I've been there because when I see the eyes of my children, it just it's an all new life, you know, for me and the commitment and all that. And it's true that I wanted my little daughter, who is 7 now, to see me on the field and understand. But as I said, I had my chance. She was too young, and that's it.
Mhm. Luis, can you share with us some examples about players that you have helped with your company?
I think that there's many in a way that you have players who actually find that they need connection, they need understanding, so you advise them through the overall connection of the app. So basically, I don't know if you are aware of exactly what he's doing, but it's more or less that the entourage of the players are really very difficult to pick the right people. So by actually have a digital company who helping the filters, you have the right people in front of you. So it could be an agent, could be a lawyer, could be an actual wealth manager or some kind of advisors in some ways. So having that kind of verified people inside the app is just amazing because it's so much things and choices to make during your career when it's only 10 years if you're lucky, 15 if you are very, very talented like the players here. But so yeah, so many players have find some different ways in the app, so which is the hem.
Ok. Ajá. Matador, ¿tú pasaste por algún periodo depresivo?
No,
Nada.
no, la verdad no. Obviamente buscas el camino en esa transición de saber qué vas a hacer después de eso, ¿no?
¿Qué es lo que te apasiona hoy en día?
Hoy en día me apasiona el poder relacionarme con gente, viajar, disfrutar a la familia. Yo creo que sacrifiqué mucho cuando jugaba fútbol, cuando era profesional. Sacrifiqué mucho y me perdí esos momentos. O sea, a final de cuentas uno viene de provincia y el dejar todas las cosas importantes de la familia, de los amigos y todo eso, creo que hoy en día lo valoro más. Hoy en día, y por eso te digo que hoy disfruto más eso, me apasiona más estar con mucha gente, me apasiona relacionarme, me apasiona estar bien con los amigos. Y obviamente mi trabajo lo tengo fuera del fútbol, es trabajo empresarial, y que también lo disfruto, ¿no? Pero sigo disfrutando, no sé, estos eventos, sigo disfrutando la compañía de grandes jugadores que tuve la fortuna de poder vivir con ellos grandes momentos en el fútbol.
O sea, si alguien te pregunta, ¿a qué te dedicas hoy en día? ¿Qué dices? Porque haces un poco de todo, ¿eh?
Sí, sí, vendo pepitas en el estadio y todo eso también, yo creo. ¿A qué me dedico? Empresarial. El nivel empresarial, aparte de fuera de fútbol, ahí tengo unos negocios. Y no sé, o sea, es repetitivo. O sea, dejé el fútbol, pero me siguen invitando a
O sea,
eventos.
tú sigues
a
activo
patrocinios.
todavía, vaya, con los veteranos de
Con los
América o Tigres
bueno,
o Monterrey.
Suena feo, veterano.
Sí,
Leyenda
no,
mejor.
la leyenda
Sí,
es eso. No, es que me invitan, a veces
¿Cómo
me
se
invitan.
dice, Sebastián? Con,
No,
con los
leyenda,
futbolistas
porque
en
veterano,
reposo.
veterano habla del tipo
Sí.
tal forma, ¿no?
Sí, nos invitan, por ejemplo, nos invitan a partidos de exhibición, amistosos, y si tengo el tiempo que no me quite el trabajo, pues cómo no, con mucho gusto. Me da alegría poder convivir con todos nuestros excompañeros, nuestros amigos dentro del fútbol. Y creo que es algo que te deja el fútbol, te deja una amistad eterna con todos, con muchos compañeros. Entonces, eso lo sigo disfrutando.
Ujú. Sebastián, tú como presidente y figura de un equipo como Estudiantes de La Plata, pues obviamente eres un referente para los jugadores activos, pero también para todos los que vienen abajo en las inferiores. Eh, Tú ya pasaste por todo lo que ellos están pasando y ya sabes más o menos cuando ves un jugador y detectas, dices, este va por aquí, este va por allá, este va por allá. Normalmente, ¿cuál es el mensaje que te gusta darles a los jugadores?
El mensaje, que no se apuren y disfruten el camino. Porque bueno, uno piensa cuando es chico que no se termina y te das cuenta que termina y que pasa rápido aparte, y hoy mucho más. Porque, bueno, un poco lo escuchaba a Luis, a los Luises, a Landon y algunos están dentro, otros fuera del fútbol. Nosotros tres fuimos y volvimos muchas veces, porque bueno, el fútbol obviamente es parte de tu vida y no lo querés largar. Y cuando lo largas, yo creo que difícilmente se pueda vivir una sensación tan fuerte como la que te da jugar ante 60.000 personas, 70.000 personas.
Ujú.
Pero que obviamente vas descubriendo después que hay otras cosas posiblemente que te llenen aún más y que te dé satisfacciones, que es esto, el trabajar y el ver crecer a los chicos. Nosotros, o sea, ves de todo, o sea, ves aquel que llega y posiblemente tenés aquel que no llega. Y trabajás obviamente mucho más con aquel que no llega porque sabés lo duro y difícil que posiblemente le resulte el no tener la posibilidad de ser futbolista. Y bueno, en esto acompañarlos en esa transición, acompañarnos en ese camino, descubrís otro sentimiento que es el que yo tenía o sentía cuando jugaba, y esto me da otra sensación y otra satisfacción, el hecho de no solo formar un buen deportista, sino formar una buena persona. Y eso obviamente es un gran trabajo, por momentos duro, porque es difícil decirle a un chico o ver a los chicos ahora a final de año que se tienen que ir y que obviamente y posiblemente alguno llegue por otro lugar, pero los demás tengan que seguir con sus vidas buscando un estudio y trabajando de otra cosa.
Sí,
Lo importante es que tengan un
adelante.
aprendizaje, ¿no, Sebas? Los chicos que se van, que tengan un aprendizaje de lo que hicieron, ¿no?
Sí, sí. Yo creo que lo descubren,
Ujú.
para mí, lo descubren con el tiempo. En el
Claro.
momento, digo, es duro, es muy duro. Eh, pero está claro que le queda, sí, le queda un aprendizaje y que en la vuelta te lo, te lo reconocen, se lo
Sí.
reconocen al club.
Desafortunadamente la mayoría no llegan. O sea, es mucho más la demanda que la oferta en los futbolistas. Y como tú dices, hay algunos que pueden llegar por otro lado, pero probablemente en tu club no tengan un espacio. A todos ellos les va a llegar, bueno, a muchos de ellos les va a llegar el retiro anticipado, mucho antes de lo que se pensaba, ¿no? ¿Cómo se maneja eso en tu club? ¿Estudiando? ¿Preparándose también?
Sí, bueno, nosotros tratamos, al contrario por ahí de lo que se hacía antes, nosotros en esto le somos claros que hay una parte chica que va a llegar y una parte muy grande que no. A esa parte muy grande hay que darle el mayor contenido. Obviamente la experiencia es importante y el estudio para mí es fundamental, que es una cuestión, y sobre todo en nuestros lugares, de nuestro lado, en Sudamérica y en Argentina, muy devaluada, y que el club, digo, como institución que es, desde lo social, porque es un club distinto a todo lo demás. Los clubes en Argentina son clubes básicamente sociales, o sea, son sociedades sin fines de lucro, que aparte del fútbol, estudiantes alberga 25 disciplinas, o sea, vos tenés más o menos una masa de gente, te diría entre deportistas son 5.000 deportistas federados,
Ajá.
más la familia que tienen atrás. Entonces es una masa importante de gente y el fútbol, obviamente que es el núcleo del club, tiene esta particularidad que los chicos quieren jugar al fútbol, no quieren estudiar, no quieren ser abogados, no entran al club queriendo ser abogado, contador o médico, sino que quieren ser futbolistas. Entonces vos ya tienes que trabajar con eso. Y con eso, obviamente, nosotros, teniendo equipos, psicólogos, coaching, el departamento social, que es los que visualizan y ven y están con la familia de los chicos, lo que hicimos también fue crear un programa educativo propio para el jugador de fútbol. Y eso a nosotros particularmente nos ayudó muchísimo porque teníamos un 80% de deserción escolar en los chicos y hoy lo bajamos a 0. Y eso para mí es algo importantísimo porque los chicos en esto, si no llegan y no siguen el camino de futbolista, tienen atrás una plataforma que es el estudio y es el estudio secundario, ¿no? Que es el que te habilita a poder tener un trabajo el día de mañana.
Claro. Landon, obviously it's not easy to be a star in this country. It's not easy to be the best player ever in American soccer. But my question would be like, how you think to pay back what soccer gave to you? You understand?
Oh, that's better.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't want to make myself sound old, but when I was growing up, soccer was literally nothing in this country. I mean, next to nothing. So, I didn't have people giving back to me or to our communities revolving around soccer. So when you come from football-rich nations like Argentina, Mexico, France, they are used to generations upon generations upon generations of knowing what to do, how to do, when to do it, in what format to do it. And I didn't have that example growing up. So I do find now, and I was just having a conversation earlier today about things I can do and we can start doing as a soccer nation to start repaying. Because the reality in America is soccer is 20, 25 years old in a real way in this country. So we're so focused on us and how do we get better and how do I be the best and how do we make Major League Soccer the best and how do we get the national team. The thought of transforming that into how do we give back has been foreign. But we are just, I think, hitting a tipping point where we know we're going to be here permanently as a major sport in this country. Major League Soccer is going to be here permanently. And how do we now tip the scale in the other direction so that we can do projects? I just spoke with American Outlaws here about AO Impact and how they are going to start to give back with Prince Ali and Amanda earlier about how they are going to give back. And that is something that now is coming into our conscience, whereas before it didn't. So to be, that's general, but it's an interesting juxtaposition to what people from other parts of the world are so used to, and that's just a part of what you do is you find a way to give back to, whether it's as a chairman or meeting with people or via technology. We're just learning how we navigate that.
What are your plans right now?
Well, the first way to give back is by being a good father. So that's my number one goal. I focus on that almost every day. Once I get out of the madness of early year parenting, I will find ways that are meaningful. There are lots of places to give money that can be helpful, but there are many other ways that you can be a lot more impactful. So still navigating that, and do it here and there, but not in a solidified, structured, super meaningful way yet.
Okay. Anyone wants to say something else?
Any
¿Alguien quiere
question?
decir algo más? ¿Alguien quiere, se le quedó
Matador.
algo? Exponga algo más.
Can I tell you guys a story about Matador?
Yeah, sure you can.
It's a little bit off
Please
topic.
do it.
No, disfrutamos mucho.
¿En español o en
En
inglés?
español, no, en
Okay.
español.
En español. Sorry, Luis.
Sí.
Put on.
Yes,
I'll tell it
sorry.
in both.
Disfrut-
En 2002 jugamos.
2002.
Él no va a recordar.
Ah, no, sí.
En
con-
2002 estamos jugando
Columbus.
en una mundial.
Ah,
Y
no
ganamos.
ya no recuerdo.
¿Quién ganó?
Ya no recuerdo.
¿Quién ganó?
Round of 16.
Estamos jugando y
No, en inglés.
durante el partido, Matador dijo a mí algo muy mal en la cancha que no
¿Qué te
va a
dijo? ¿Qué te
repetir.
dijo?
No recuerda.
No lo di,
Pero
tú
algo
dinos,
muy
tú
mal.
dinos.
Pero muchos años después, por fin, ya que somos retirados, ya podemos ser amigos.
No,
Y
siempre. Lo de la cancha se queda en la cancha. Ahí.
es el parte de fútbol que es increíble, porque
Sí.
entre la cancha todo puede pasar, enemigos, todo, y después podemos ser amigos. So in 2002, we played in the World Cup against Mexico. I just reminded him that we won 2-0. And in the game, he said something to me that I'll never forget that I'm not going to repeat because it's pretty nasty. But the beauty of soccer, and I've said many similar type things to other players, but the beauty of soccer and what a beautiful sport it is that after so many years now, I've seen him for the first time in many, many years, but we can be friends and laugh, and that's the beauty of soccer, and I love that it unites us in that
Just
way.
tell
so.
us something. Is it worse than what Materazzi told to Zidane in the final in 2006?
I'm guessing
Igual.
that was about his sister, right? Materazzi?
I don't know. Yeah, it was about the sister.
Let's just say it was
Yeah?
about a family member.
Okay. ¿Sí?
Oye, es que era un cadillo en los, ya sabes, siempre.
¿Qué le dijiste, Matador?
No, le dije que lo iba a ver muchos años después y iban
Y
a
que
ser
iban a
amigos.
ser amigos
Sí.
y iban a estar sentados en un panel hablando de esto.
Sí, es lo bueno del fútbol que te deja. En el retiro, y lo sabes, Sebas, Luis, Landon, nos vemos con mucha alegría, con mucho orgullo de todo lo que hicimos en nuestras carreras deportivas. Contigo también, Félix, que eras mi cliente. Y eso lo disfrutamos y lo seguimos disfrutando. Yo creo que nunca dejamos de ser futbolistas, pero lo mejor que te deja el fútbol, y lo he repetido y lo sigo diciendo, son los amigos que quedan en el camino.
Sí. No, y lo importante es lo que mencionaba, ¿no? Que al final de cuentas esos pleitos que se ven en la cancha se deben quedar en la cancha. Cuando
Sí.
trascienden es cuando se complican las cosas, pero que exista esa posibilidad, ¿no? De que dos rivales tan acérrimos, tan fuertes puedan verse el resto de la vida sin ningún problema. De eso se trata el fútbol,
Claro.
¿no? Justamente de eso se trata y no hay que llevar la pasión más allá. Bueno, creo que es todo por hoy. I think we're done. Thank you very much. Thank you to Landon Donovan, Juan Sebastián Verón, Luis Matador Hernández, a Luis Sajar. Muchísimas gracias. Gracias por acompañarnos esta tarde. Y este es
Gracias.
el cierre ya del Congreso.